As a filmmaker for over 7 years, I've studied pretty much every aspect from pre-production to post-production. In that time, I saw many films, both in English and foreign. Since I didn't particularly pick and choose, some were good, but the majority were just a pile of shit. So I decided to make a new show on YouTube where I will review the movies that I've watched at the movie theater lately. This is the Honest Reviewer, and today we're gonna talk about Pacific Rim. I had no idea what to expect when I came to watch that movie. I only saw the trailer. It looked okay, but I had no idea what the story was about except some giant robots and monsters fighting in cities. So let me try to break down the movie from start to finish, and I'll tell you the points that I did like and the points that really pissed me off. The first part that really pissed me off was that they used this whole Japanese background thing in the story. Of course, with a Japanese actress, but they speak Japanese. Even the main hero speaks Japanese. Where the hell did he learn how to speak properly? And that's fine. I understand if people are in that country in the movie at that time, which wasn't the case in Pacific Rim. If you look at movies like Iron Man, well, he gets captured, and of course they speak Arabic. That's at least justified. But in Pacific Rim, they only included the Japanese text to appeal to a certain part of the world, i.e. Japan, so that more of the audience here would go watch the movie. I call that a major kiss ass to the Japanese movie industry. Alright, so moving on. The second thing I thought was not very good was the actual writing. I'm sorry, but I felt nothing for the characters. The movie starts, we get two brothers, and one of them dies pretty much within the first 5 or 10 minutes of the movie. Did I care about his death? No. Did I know who he really was? Nope. So, when a movie fails at making people, or the audience in this case, feel any kind of emotion, the movie fails. This is compounded by poor jokes. I remember two in particular that really raised the hair on my head. The first one was when the main hero touches the marshal's jacket, and the marshal goes, 1. Don't touch my jacket. 2. Don't touch my jacket. It's not even funny. Why did they put that line in? It breaks the tension, and it's not funny. The second joke that they try to do is actually at the very end of the movie, after the credits, with this Hannibal character, who I'll get to in a second, who comes out of the alien and says, "Where is my damn shoe?" That scene, well, besides being completely irrelevant, because I don't even care if that guy dies or not, but again, the joke is not even funny. What were they thinking? So let's move on to some of the plot points that made no fucking sense whatsoever. The one that really stands out is that big wall they try to build around cities. Now, if a giant robot can't stop the monsters from advancing, then how do you expect a static wall, although big as it is, to stop a monster that's moving? It's a total waste of resources, it's a useless plot point, and I just felt it was a waste of time in the movie. Overall, I have to say the special effects were pretty good, but if you judge the movie these days by special effects, then every movie would be good. I have to say, they are getting really good at special effects, not just in the US, but all over the world. So if you judge the movie just by that, then you're setting the bar really low. The other thing is they need to study physics. I mean, usually you get those 4 little choppers that lift the robots. That's impossible. A robot that weighs like so many tons, just lifted by 4 tiny helicopters? They obviously didn't study the weight and gravity in this movie at all. So next I want to talk about the characters in the movie. Like I already said, I felt no emotions whatsoever for any of the characters in the movie. Well, this is due to poor writing, but also due to poor acting. The relationship between the main hero and Mako is just ridiculous. I mean, they pretty much start flirting from the get-go, as if that happens in real life. I already mentioned the character of Hannibal. Well, he pretty much sells the artifacts, i.e. the alien parts. But the character himself has no background whatsoever. Who is he? What did he do before? I know they make reference that he probably communicated with one of the brains, but it's not explored at all. The two scientists in the movie really made me angry because in the movie they chose to go the classic nerd and geek scientist way. Well, if you look at Neil deGrasse Tyson, he is nothing like those two goofballs. He speaks like a normal man, I can understand what he's saying, and he, to me, is probably the classic scientist today. The robots looked okay, well, actually really good, but I felt like they took a swipe at Russia, with the oldest robot being from Russia. I don't see the point of taking a swipe at a country in such a way. Why did it have to be Russian? Why couldn't it be the one from China or something? So let's recap Pacific Rim. Overall, I liked it. I would watch it again, but not anytime soon. Here are some key points to remember. Number one, this movie is not deep nor philosophical. Well, I guess from the trailer you could have predicted that, but don't expect anything deep from this movie. I felt at the end the main hero should have died. It's not because I want people to die, but it just would have made more sense. He made the final sacrifice. So why did they stick with that classic hero image that survives at the end against all odds? Mako survived, so it would have been fine. Bad jokes and poor writing, that for me weighs the movie down more than anything else. And finally, it's attempting to kiss ass at a particular audience in the world, i.e. Japan. So overall, I'll give it 65% because it fails to be a classic science fiction movie, which to me is movies like Terminator 2, where I really felt a deep emotional connection with the characters, even the Terminator, who's a robot. But Pacific Rim, man, it had no soul.